So I went to AWS Summit Sydney last week and it was a great experience for me. This is a short video where I rate my experience on different areas. So AWS Summit is a technical conference that takes place over 2 days. There is also a partner summit for AWS partners. The 2 days are called the Builders Day and the Innovation Day. As for my experience, I'm going to rate it on 4 different areas: content, location, logistics, and experience. So content, it's an AWS event in 2024. So there were a lot of generative AI related talks, discussions, lightning talks involved. It was basically whole 2 days of generative AI topics. The keynote on the Builders Day was a great example for this. It was basically about what AWS has been doing on generative AI, Amazon Bedrock being available on the Sydney region, and then there were guest speakers who talked about their own generative products that they were developing using AWS. Personally, for me, as a typical late adapter, I didn't really enjoy hearing about Gen AI that much. I think talking about Gen AI basically suffocated other innovative topics that AWS had to talk about in this summit. There were talks like the silicon improvements that AWS had done during the past year, AWS FinOps, observability, and basically building resilient architectures. There was good spread between level 100 and 400 content. Innovation Day wasn't so great for me as a technical person. I think it was aimed for C-level participants who find these broader discussions helpful. So overall, 3 out of 5 stars. The summit could use less Gen AI topics, so it loses whole 2 points for that. Location. It was in Sydney, Australia. My first time in both of these locations. Sydney is apparently home to 6 million people, so I think it was a good place to host a technical conference. The actual venue was spacious, but the area the summit was at was a little bit limited in space for that size of a crowd. It was in the middle of the city, so it was easy to get to, near the harbour, so I could easily go for a walk after the event, explore the city. So 4 out of 5 for location. I love it. It's just that the summit area could have been a lot more spacious. Logistics, everything that has to do with planning. Like I said, the location was good, but the actual area the summit was in was a little bit cramped. It was a lot more noisy than I expected. You had to lean into people to actually have a conversation. The audio solution they had for different talks was bad at best. It was radio receivers that you could plug your headset into, but the audio quality had a lot more room to improve, and at popular talks the receivers would run out pretty quickly, so I couldn't listen to some of these talks because of that reason. There were a lot of queues for food, drinks, and even the vendor stalls, so I think they had a lot more people participating than they anticipated. There were a lot of hosts around too, so you could ask for help if you needed. But on the other hand, I think some of these hosts could use a little more training. I didn't have any bad experience, but I heard some of these hosts shouting at people for taking more than one food package, I guess. Maybe an okay thing to do if you're trying to discipline children, but this is a technical conference, so yeah, I don't see that as a pleasant experience. So overall, 1 out of 5 stars. This is the weakest area of the summit, I think. Yeah, AWS could use a lot more planning in this area in the future. So the last one, experience. I think it was a great experience for me as someone who does cloud architecture work as their day job. I felt it was a great opportunity for me to network with other companies, see what other AWS customers are doing, and in overall get an idea about the direction of the whole industry. I feel the summit could use a lot less Gen AI discussions in the future, I hope, but overall the whole experience deserves 5 out of 5 stars. Would I go again? Absolutely. So that's it for this week, a short video on my experience on AWS Summit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.